Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Accordion podcast. A podcast where we talk to musicians, accordionists, we talk about career, we talk about what it means to be a musician in the 21st century. I am your host, Gennady Rotari, and it's a pleasure to have you with us on this journey. If you like the podcast and haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to it, whether on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, so that you get all the updates when new episodes come out. Also, if you enjoy the podcast, please rate and review the podcast. This helps get the podcast discovered on the different platforms. Another quick update, the podcast now has a Patreon page. There are 3 different tiers. The first one is listener, then there's the supporter, and then there's the fan. So for a one-time or monthly donation, you get the access to the WhatsApp and Telegram communities, as well as early updates on guests and upcoming episodes, patrons-only polls. Other perks include also participation in Hangouts, whether live or online, the different masterclasses that I'm planning to organize, Q&A sessions. You also get the chance to ask the next guest a question. And for the top tier, you also get a shout out at the end of each episode and will receive exclusive merchandise from the podcast. So check out the link in the description of this episode. And if you really enjoy it, please consider supporting it. Again, you can do a one-time donation or you can support the podcast on a monthly basis. Thanks again for being here and for listening to these conversations. And without further ado, let's jump into this next episode. So welcome to another episode of the Everything Accordion podcast. Today we have an accordionist from Croatia. I believe the first accordionist from Croatia that we have on the podcast. And it's a great pleasure today to have Igor Krizman as a guest on the podcast. Hi, Igor, and welcome to the podcast, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Gennady, for inviting me, and it's really a great pleasure to take part in your podcast and to have this interview with you.
Yeah, it's, we knew each other for quite some time, and maybe even if we didn't really know each other, like I remember I participated in some competitions and you were there, and we definitely saw each other. We were kind of in each other's orbit during also my student years, but also afterwards. So yeah, I'm really curious and excited to be talking to you about your formation as a musician, also to talk about some of your projects, which are big and quite important, I might say. So, yeah, let's kick off this conversation with how it all began for you as an accordionist. Do you remember the first time that you saw or tried an accordion?
Yes, of course. It happened. It happened very, very spontaneously in my home. So my father is a hobby amateur accordionist, and really the first steps I made with him, I discovered accordion through him. Of course, he was playing um, well. Pop and folk music in our celebrations, family celebrations. So accordion was always present and music in our home. And this is how I got the interest, of course, the first contact with music and the interest to the instrument and so on. So yeah, he gave me the first lessons. He learned me the children songs, of course, on some small keyboard first, and then then they bought me some children accordion, which I got with 4 years when I was 4 years old, and yeah, that was kind of my favorite toy. Kind of, I liked my instrument. I enjoyed playing these children tunes for my family members and friends and so on. And this was the early beginning, but it was absolute fun without a concrete plan that my father was strategically teaching me, but we were just having fun with the instrument as father and son. And then after some years, when I got around 8 years old, second grade in the elementary school, Then he brought me to the not to the music school, but in Pula there is well, many people who know about Pula know also about OKUD Istra, which is an organization like we know in German speaking countries, Verein, so accordion organization or cultural music organization, which from which started um, in 1959 was founded. So in the 60s started right away quite intensive accordion development through one very enthusiastic man and fantastic musician, Stanko Mihovilic. So he developed the accordion activity inside of this association. Later on, he founded the international competition. We will speak about it a bit later and so on. But in this association, my father took his accordion lessons as a child, so he brought me also there. That was a place to teach to learn accordion, and that was not such a bad choice because even though of course we had a music school where I transferred a bit later, but I had really in my generation I met already there in the accordion association OKUD Istra great group of friends. Some of them are still my friends and colleagues now, also professional accordionists. And from these early ages, we had also accordion orchestra. I think already from the second year and so on, and prepared some nice concerts. Even after some years, some international tours, which were all great experiences for us as children. So, and I must say, I always liked music. I played also in the beginning accordion and guitar, two instruments. And but I must say that what drove me even more into the music world was of course this social environment. I had very great. My best friend was entered the school together with me. He was my classmate and like a brother, and so we came already as a team. And then we met other children of our age. We had our orchestra. We were so proud about it, and we had so much fun. We were so gladly there. We had two lessons a week. Maybe in some countries is that not usual, but even that there is a private school or private association was the intensity same as in music school. And we had these extra lessons of some chamber music, small ensembles or orchestras from the early ages. And I really enjoyed that very much, all this atmosphere and all the activities and especially the concerts, absolutely. So this is how I got hooked, and I got to know music and so on. And I decided to do it as my profession. Of course, my parents supported me. My father, who is hobby musician but knew a bit about the music world and then the possibility to to do it professionally, so thanks to them, they followed my way, and we can come to the different steps. But from that time, of course, I switched to the music school, and then later on to the universities, and went then to Germany and so on. So and now I'm professional musician, teacher, and active in different kind of activities and projects.
Hmm. Yeah, it's as you said, it made me smile when you said I got hooked with the accordion because yeah, at one point it's that you just get so much into it that at one point it becomes like a lifestyle, an integral part of your weekly, daily
Definitely.
routine. And seeing like your friends, especially like the social component. And also what I find amazing, I was of course at the competition in Pula, I think several times as a competitor, as a participant, but also at the summer academy almost like 12 years ago. And also this summer I came for a visit, and it was really great to see the young generation of accordionists. And it's amazing that this association for more than 60 years has done so much for the instrument. Also because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe like Pula and Istra are kind of like the center for accordion in Croatia, because in Zagreb, if I'm not wrong, like at the music academy, the accordion is not taught there, or is it?
Yes, definitely. We can say that in Croatia, Pula is definitely the accordion town and accordion center, and really the of course accordion is present in other towns, or have been present. Nowadays it's already developed, and we can speak in a sort way of accordion, of a Croatian accordion school. There are some people who through the years developed and made some impact and are working greatly in the schools. And of course we have the music academy, the department of accordion, already 30 years in Croatia, and so on. But why is Pula an accordion center, an accordion town? Because of the manifestations that you said. International competition in Pula, which is founded in 1964, and it is the first international competition in the whole Yugoslavia. It was the
Mm-hmm.
competition, which is then was that was the meeting and the event of the accordion in the area. Absolutely. It is interesting that it has the same year of founding, like not the same year of founding, but before the COVID, we have been in the same number as Castelfidardo competition. And
Mm.
interesting is that Pula competition is actually we were at edition number 40 or 45, until 45. I remember one year when we were there as a delegation and made some collaborations, uh, that it was we were on the same edition number. But Pula competition is actually older than Castelfidardo, and now they passed us with the numbers, because we had 2 years of break in the time of
Mm-hmm.
COVID. But Castelfidardo continued as online edition, so we are not anymore in the same edition number. But Pula competition is founded in 1964, was started, and was in one period of existence. So it has 60 years of existence, but is this year we had 47th edition, the next year 48, and because in one period it was every 2 years, it was like a biennial event.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was, of course, so 59 was OKUD founded. At 64 already was a major event organized. It was called, and it's still called in the Croatian language, Susreti harmonikaša. This means meeting of accordionists. It was
Mm.
a
Mm-hmm.
typical name of this kind of events in communist countries. This is
Mm-hmm.
meetings, and these kind of things of folk ensembles, of sportmen, or of whatever. Um, this is very interesting that we have in light athletic, no? In track
Mm-hmm.
and field competitions. Also, they call their competitions still meetings. No? There is a
Mm-hmm.
meeting in Zagreb and this and that, and it comes a bit from that tradition. This competition was started 64, and very soon became quite international. Of course, it was maybe at first more relevant to Yugoslavian accordionists, but very soon there were, um, the director and teachers from Honer Conservatorium. Then already in the 70s there were people from the Soviet Union. So Stanko Mihovilic did really a great job to bring um, relevant accordionists of the time to Pula, to make an impact there, to connect with them, and to organize to make it happen, this exchange of experiences, of activities, and so on. So he was also he founded Accordion Orchestra of OKUD, which
Mm-hmm.
he was conducting and going to the competitions and making tours, but also collaborating with composers still from this early age. So through all these activities, on one side accordion orchestra, but then also working with soloists and very enthusiastically and very intensively, making arrangements, collaborating with composers of the time, writing original music for soloists, for chamber music, for accordion orchestra. That was very not solid, but that there was the right activities that supported Pula to develop further on. And then at 1994, it got absolutely clear. In 1994, they managed, but they were working on that project. The people, the accordionists in Pula, were working on that possibility to open the study of accordion in Croatia. And in '94, they managed to do it, and it was opened the department of classical accordion on the philosophical academy. In that time, it was
Mm-hmm.
academy also of philosophy, where it was education for different type of teachers, for different subjects, and this existed in Pula, and there was already as a base, there was a study for music teachers. So this
Mm-hmm.
existed already before, and then the first instrumental department in Pula was then accordion and started at 1994.
Wow. Yeah.
And
No, it's.
it's since then it is stayed as it was kind of a logical follow-up, no, of the
Mm-hmm.
development of the accordion in Pula. The most of the accordionists were also in Pula, and about these intensive activities there, it was kind of the logical solution. But so I don't know if it could be some other reason. I was a child and I maybe don't know all the details. If they really tried to open the department in Zagreb, was it really
Mm-hmm.
in their strategy to open it there? It was a very sensitive time of war and so on. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
there are different aspects which are sometimes confronting some realization of some ideas. But anyway, in these difficult times, I'm sure that it was also interest really to open the department of accordion in Pula, and the people succeeded in that, and I'm very glad and thankful about that. I was
Mm-hmm.
studying as well my bachelor diploma in Pula, and yeah, of course, that brought the town and the accordion activities further on to another level, and supported the development of the accordion in Croatia in all not only in Pula, majorly. No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I
Absolutely.
mean, it's. Find it fascinating that like at that time there was such a big need and want to place the instrument, because we're talking about the birth of the original repertoire for the accordion in the same years, the 60s. And you
Yeah.
have people in many places like Matti Rantanen that did in Finland something similar. Mögen Selegard was doing that in Denmark and all over Scandinavian countries and also in Austria. Then there's a lot of associations, like, for example, the Austrian Harmonica Verband, that also did many of these things to kind of bring together. Now that you mentioned 94, I remember I played at the 20-year celebration from opening the in 2014 with my pianist with Valentina. We played in Pula, at Dom Hrvatskih Branitelja. We played there, I think, like three
Exactly.
pieces or something like that. Yeah, it was 2014 for the 20-year celebration. Yeah, and I believe you're right. Like, it makes absolute sense that, something that was born in Pula was developed there and was such a present culture of the instrument there that it simply kind of doesn't really make sense to just, like take it and transplant it, I don't know how many hundreds of kilometers away. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's a completely different history, and it's mind-boggling to think that in those years, in 64, to start already like networking and connecting with people from Germany, from the Soviet Union. Also because like now you just type in accordion meeting, accordion competition, accordion school, and you find it, and it's quite easy to travel. At that time, you needed like visas, you needed invitations. It wasn't done via email. Like, you needed to post it and let people know about it, and like organize everything, also talk with accommodations and everything else. I mean, it's a huge effort. I can only imagine. But you will also talk about your experience, because now you're kind of the head of the association, and you're supervising and organizing the competition now. So it's also quite fitting, right, for the association that somebody who started there, grew up with it. Of course, then you went and now you're based in Germany, but you still have connections with Pula and with Croatia. So that kind of this tradition of the instrument got passed to you, and now you're continuing kind of this tradition, you who was a part of the association. So no, it's really fascinating and interesting to, like, I didn't know many of these things. Although, like, living in Trieste, which is like 2 hours away, 1.5 hours away from Pula, uh, one might think that I would know more about these things, but that's why I love doing these interviews and talking to people, so that I can also learn something new about these existing realities. So the competition, it's I believe it is one of the four, maybe most, or five most prestigious and famous competitions where young accordionists can come, meet, hear, learn, talk with colleagues, with professors, uh, connect with one another. And when you took over, how did it feel to be at the helm of this like huge event?
Yeah, it was really a special moment, and I felt in the beginning when this place was offered to me from the association. I just wanted to correct you for one thing that you said. I'm not the president of the organization of OKUD. There is another person. This is not Alex Nadesic, who is a teacher there and a guitar player, but doing a great job as a president of the association. And I'm just in charge of the two international accordion events that are organized by OKUD Istra, and this is the international competition in Pula and the international summer masterclass that we also already have for 30 years. There started also in the early 90s, 91, 92, and had some small breaks, but it's already a very traditional manifestation, and it's quite important as well for the development. And yeah, so how did it happen? As you said, this was kind of a natural move that I, as on one side, a child of OKUD, it's not only because of the, let's say, family affairs to be a part of the OKUD family and then to be chosen like that, but of course, being a member of OKUD and starting there, this was followed up with my I was a member of the society. Later on, as I said, I passed to the music school because it was necessary for to get official education. So that happened already during the elementary music education. I was for 4 years pupil of OKUD, but as it works as a private school, it's not recognized. So when I decided I
Mm-hmm.
would like to go to music gymnasium, this is the system that we have in Croatia, 6 years of elementary school and 4 years of the middle school level. And then when I decided that I would like to do that, I had to switch to the music school in order to make my elementary education official, to pass some exams. And so this was after 4 years. So last 2 years I finished in music school and I entered the middle school and finished that. So I was kind of not anymore the pupil of OKUD, but I continued playing in the orchestras. I was playing in the children orchestra, youth orchestra of OKUD, and then actually quite soon I entered also as being 15, 14, 15, I entered even the big orchestra, which was in that moment, and I mean, the first orchestra of the association, which was in that moment, I mean, grown-up players, some very good amateur players, hobby players, but with a continuation, there were very great, good players in the youth and continued playing entertaining music. They just didn't went to study and stop somewhere, but they were quite able accordionists. There was no question about it. So, and then there were already students of the accordion department, and then there were a couple of us who were in the middle school level. So it was a great privilege even to enter this orchestra at this early age, and so this is how it continued. And then, of course, in that time, as a young and interested accordionist. I was also helping out in the organization. Our conductor, Damir Bujleta, it was the conductor of the orchestra, was also in charge, so the head of the organization board for the competition and for the summer school. The job that he then integrated us in the organization of that. We were the youth there in the association, so we were helping out in the organization. And so this is how I got to know many things about the competition from inside, and so I was kind of spontaneously kind of preparing for this
Mm-hmm.
for this role. So, and then this was also, as I was studying first in Pula, this continued, was always involved with the competition and connected with the organization and so on. And then I went away from Pula. Then I went to study to Hanover with Professor Elspeth Moser, and I was here for 3 years in Germany, and then it came the opportunity to come back to Pula. The Pula Academy was searching. The accordion department was opened up two places for the assistants,
Mm-hmm.
like guest teachers, honorar basic, but they were asking for two teachers. So I applied for that place, and I was chosen from the candidates, and then I came back to Pula, and I was
Mm-hmm.
teaching in the academy in Pula for 5 years. And during that time, um, teaching there, it happened. Uh, as soon as I came back to Pula, I began again to help out with the organization of the competition, and I entered then the music board. Was invited to enter the music board and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in the first years, and then it happened a natural change. Before that, already Damir Bujleta, who was for many years director of the competition, left that place and moved to Zagreb,
Mm-hmm.
turned another page in his life, and then some other people took it over. First, one younger colleague of almost my generation, Dalibor Boljon, but then he had to move away as well from Pula. Then it was another person, Nevio Prince, who was doing that thing for a couple of years as a actually amateur musician, but also he was a member of the directing board of OKUD, so he was very involved in many organizational things before. And then it came somehow to the natural switch of generation. He didn't want to do it anymore, and I was already involved there, and I was the logical choice to take it over. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of course, with as well with my experience, and but in the same time with my musical education that was on the level to know the scene, to know the competition, to continue the development in a prosperous way. And I hope I managed to do that.
No, like
And
seeing the
this is
results,
definitely
definitely. Yeah.
definitely is something what I'm trying to do. So from that period on, but also being part of the musical board, I tried to get my impact there with all my knowledge that I gathered um, around musical world. And yeah, it was a huge that moment when I took over the position of being the director of the organization of the competition. It gave me really the feeling of a great privilege and a great responsibility in the same time, because it was, of course, it is the event that I was growing up with, that where I was looking and listening the concerts of my idols when I was a child. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, and discovering many things for myself. Of course, taking part in this competition as a young player. And so 1 year was, and most of the years was crazy, competing in different categories, solo, chamber music, orchestras, even sometimes in two orchestras, as I was playing in the
Mm-hmm.
music school and the association orchestra and this and that. So we were very involved, and definitely this competition meant a world for me and still is very important. And of course, in that time, I realized how important what is the potential of this event, and how important it is, how much impact it made already, and what is the potential for future development, because the competition is definitely a platform to build up many things, and connections and exchange and promotion of your own activities of Croatian Accordionist and Croatian accordion scene. So these were kind of let's say so, the goals that I set up for myself, to try to develop the competition in these different directions, or taking care about all these aspects by choosing the people in the jury, choosing the program, setting the um, competition format, let's say so, um, the conditions, the regulations, and so on. And of course, I'm not alone in that job. The president of the juries is Professor Jenny Dekleva Radakovic. And she's also, of course, she's one of the first generation of students of Sanko Mihovilic. And, she was one of the first students in this middle school level education in Pula. She went in the end of 60s to study in Trossingen in the Honor Conservatorium, first from Croatia, and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so on. And she was teaching in the music academy in Pula. As she's also composer, she was teaching theoretical subjects. But I mean, for all that time, she was supporting the competition and very much involved in the competition. So it is a pleasure to collaborate with her, and I'm still glad, even though she's uh, in pension, kind of on academical involvement, or her employment, but she's absolutely not in pension about other cultural activities. So she's very active in the competition. and it's a pleasure you always to discuss. But of course, it's not the only one. It is there is we always are in contact with our in close contact with our all accordion colleagues, and not only in Croatia or in Pula but also internationally, and always exchanging and thinking how to proceed the development, in
Hmm.
the in harmony with the possibilities, especially the
Yeah,
finances,
absolutely.
of course,
Hmm.
which is always very
Hmm.
challenging. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think like, yeah, the translation what one says accordion competition, but like from what you are saying, your vision is really not that of competing against one another, but it's really a meeting point where you can kind of showcase and try out repertoire that you've been preparing and practicing, maybe even if like a trial for the exams or whatever, or for a concert, because it's always kind of putting in a bit of a stressful situation. But if you take it in the with the right mindset, that yes, it is there, you're pushing yourself to the extremes of your psychological and physical limits, and hopefully you are also there with people who support you, who are there for the same reasons, and not simply to think that they're better or worse or whatever. It's a learning experience for everyone. And as we talked also this summer in Pula, it's also really a possibility to connect, to get to know people, to why not make friends for the rest of our musical lives, careers, collaborations, and so on and so forth. So yeah, with this spirit of like collaboration and meeting new people. So for every young accordionist, and I know that some of the participants in the summer academy told me that they listen to the podcast. So yeah, take it with the right mindset and just go and meet people, create these connections, these collaborations, and I believe, yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity as well. And Igor, what are some of the, like, let's say, top three challenges in organizing such an international event?
Mhm. I would just like to add on your thoughts now here. I think that this is there is always this discussion between musicians generally, no? Um, are the competitions good or bad? No? And obviously, I mean, everyone are aware that there are advantages and disadvantages on that, but it's necessarily the right setup. And I think especially for the children, this setup must be guided and made from the teachers. So there is a huge responsibility on the teachers how to prepare for the competitions, and not only in the way of playing as good as possible, but also in this mindset, how to approach the competition and psychologically, and what are the goals to set. And there were different occasions. There were sometimes I was doing also several competitions in my life, all major competitions in the accordion world and so on. And sometimes you meet competitors um, in the competitions which are which is in a way understandable, but which are so focused on their playing and their performances that they are like, in Klingenthal, the competition is like 5 to 6 days, and they are for 5 days closed in a room. You don't see these
Mm,
guys. You don't see these people, and they are not. I don't know. You think that are they having breakfast at all? I mean, I respect everyone absolutely, and this kind of, I don't say that you don't have to be dedicated and concentrated and focus on your playing, absolutely. But there is so much more that you can benefit from this kind of competitions. And as you said, you know, the meeting and the exchange and listening to others and many, many things which are part of this kind of events, apart from your audition. And I think that is what is really good. I think that this changes. Maybe before when we why what made the positive effect? Probably, you know, we have much more competitions than 30, 40 years ago. So I think that uh, gave the possibility to the players, you know, to get more routine in
Mm-hmm.
playing, and get the young players are much more relaxed and kind of, you know, if they are doing a couple of competitions, they get psychologically more comfortable with the situation performing in the competition. But I think that somehow also reduced a bit the pressure and the stress to win, let's say so,
Mm.
and to make this a result. And you know, if you have it can be good and bad, but I think it helped a bit for people to take out the head outside of the sand, let's say so,
Mm-hmm.
and see, get aware of the other aspects of this kind of event, apart from just performing in their auditions. So this is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely changing. And yeah, as I said, I tried really to set that kind of goals for the competition, how to use the platform of the competition to make positive impacts on the development of the accordion. And when one of the goals, of the number one goal in the period since I took it, and we still follow that concept, was so we are, of course, financially, economically limited, and but we are having every year around 20 jury members,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not exactly half half, but kind of around 10. In later years we managed to invite even until 12 maybe international people, and then 8 to 10 Croatian colleagues, so we are around 20, sometimes a bit above. And
Mm-hmm.
we try, my concept was to set up really a diversity uh, of the profiles in the jury. And it was of course big international names, performance and performers and teachers teaching in the academies in Europe. That was one category. Then it was younger players, younger generation players who are also already made some importance and reputation, and doing absolutely some great stuff. To have a younger view, and in the same way, kind of from Croatia, you know, experienced jury members and some younger players to be involved, and we try to kind of follow up that concept. Then we integrated also some other musicians. They were sometimes also before my time. I don't take the credit, but we tried to also follow up to have some composers around. Of course, conductors. We have the competition has soloist, chamber music, and orchestra categories. But also we try to integrate the composers, the conductors, and some other instrumentalists, not only in chamber music categories where the other instruments are involved, or maybe in the orchestra, but also in the solo, especially professional category, to um, to have this evaluation and different point of view from other musicians who are not accordionists, and we wanted to give the opportunity also to the candidates and to the teachers to exchange, to get some comments, and to see also through the points, um, how the other musicians see the aspect of performances. I mean, not only the musical aspect, but also the choice of programs, and so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
and
in
I
the
think
same
it's.
time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sorry. And in the same time, we try to change the jury members every year. And because the idea is from year to year, to offer a different impact also from the people who are living in Pula, who are living in Croatia, who are coming every year, to make an opportunity for them to meet new people. And I think so. I'm involved in the organization since 2012, 13, in the musical board, and I took over the direction of the organization committee since 2015, 14 or 15. And anyway, I mean, since then, uh, through the Polo competition, we had all all the all the teachers, all the big names of the accordion world teaching in the European universities all around, and really that was good that some young accordion or accordionists managed to get to know first time all of these people, and realize who is who in the accordion world at all.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in the same way through the summer course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I find it very smart, first of all, and second of all, it's putting the focus on the music and not only on the accordion, because if you have, like, let's say, a composer listening to an accordionist performing, then perhaps that composer might have some familiarity with the instrument, but they need to focus on something else. The risk with us accordionists is that if we hear someone play the piece that we played, and we might not be very open to new interpretations, which happens, then you're like, oh, no, he didn't play it the right way. But, like, what's the right way? So, and also, like, the upper, yeah, that makes also, like, the every single edition of the competition or of the meeting, it makes it a different experience, because then you have a combination of not only established professors but also, like, younger ones who are coming there, and that way it mixes things up a little bit. Otherwise you might have, like, the same jury from one competition to another, then you start seeing kind of a pattern of, let's say, the same results, or maybe, like, of the same behavior in that competition. Then younger generations might get discouraged and say, oh, no, I'm not going to go there because I know that, they like that kind of music and I play some other kind of music. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's a
And
risk.
I really think, I mean, in my generation, I already experienced that. And from my own experiences, and from, exchanging with, of course, my colleagues who were doing the same competitions. And well, there was that kind of, let's say so, a general opinion how which kind of repertoire you should play in Kligenthal, or what is appreciated in Arasate, or how you can make a good result in Trophée Mondial or Coupe Mondial. Who is dominating the jury? Who are the people? And there was every year the same people. And and there was, exactly, there were some certain patterns, and then accordionists started to move towards this this let's say so, aesthetic, no? if they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go to that competition. So they were doing extremely contemporary music for Arasate, or Russian repertoire for this and that competition. And the thing is that there is not a big, let's say so, saying this is good and this is wrong. But of course, as a musician, you have to find your own aesthetic. It's good to get to know all the repertoire as much as possible, and then to see which repertoire do you reflect the best. Where do you feel how to say, integrated or interested? First of all, it's
Mm-hmm.
following your own interests, your own sensibility, and your own kind of, to get to know yourself as an artist, and in order to be able to identify with the music that you play, and in order to express it, to interpret it, to be integrated, to research it to the smallest details, and in order to then offer really something meaningful on the stage. And it is about forming young musicians. It's not about um, to support them to form themselves, to give them
Mm-hmm.
to give them the possibility how to research, and to give them maybe some direction. This is what we try to do through our regulations, to support young musicians to research the repertoire, and
Mm-hmm.
to see how it works. And with changing the jury, of course, the same concept could work better or less good in different years, but it's the same thing with public. And this is the real life situation that is waiting them after. And
Yep.
if you're trying to, this is maybe a message to all young musicians, not only accordionists. If you try to follow up any trends, it can give you maybe some short-term success, but in the long term, to build up your image as an artist, your personality, and to build up your public that is interesting from your own thoughts and repertoire and interpretations, you have to find your own language and your own aesthetic and their own music language, in which they want to communicate with their public. And yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
what we try to achieve.
Yeah, that's a very important message also because, like, I remember I was joking with some colleagues about Arasate Hiria, but they changed like the compulsory pieces in the list of yeah, compulsory pieces to perform. And I was joking like I'm just waiting until the list will fit my repertoire, and then
Uh-huh.
I'll see who the jury is, and then I'll decide if I want to go there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
No, but I think this is
I
this
mean,
is
in the
also
real
changing
life,
generally. I think this is changing also
yeah.
there. I mean, it was a certain period of time. I must say, so in this year we celebrated 60 years of existence of the competition in Pula, and of course the competition had different stages and different phases, and which were, there were the people who are in charge of the competition. I'm sure they always wanted to be up to date and trying, to uh, set the regulations to be progressive and doing the best thing. And I remember, so OKUD Istra was, as an organization, always also from the 70s already, the member of the CMA, Confederation Mondiale de Accordion. So it was also in the competition in Pula, was the preliminary
Mm,
competition selection for Croatian competitors
mm,
in the main event. Back
mm-hmm,
then, and even in the time when I was participating in that competition in the year 2001, and later on, and before and later, it was the concept that it was limited the number of performers from one country, and the selection was in Pula on the competition. So, and of course they were taking part in that competition and following what is going on in this scene, and exchanging opinions with all the delegates from different countries. And as I said, through the network, there was always overview what is going on in Castellfinale, what is going on in Klingenthal, and so on. And of course, a bit later, Arasate, when they came on the scene as a relevant competition. And so I must say that in the history of the competition, we had also a period when we had, for the professional category, 2 rounds and with different regulation. And there was a certain period when we had also lists for the first round and for the second round, um, as it was in that time, the goal of the lists was, of course, to encourage young accordionists and their teachers to get to know some of the new pieces and the repertoire. And I think we are kind of past that time, that need to have I mean, the people got to know how to search for repertoire. I think we educated the people,
Mm-hmm.
and the internet offered of course, even stronger exchange of the information. And that was all happening before 2000, and then going until the 2000s and 2010. But I mean, now the exchange of information is much stronger. So the and it's kind of course, the people realize they have to search their own identity, artistic identity, through the repertoire as well. And of course, the level of playing is raising. So a lot of people can play good. It's not anymore enough to play precise and how to say, correct text and so on, with
Mm-hmm.
let's say, so with good phrasing, and then you are secure to win. We reached all together to the development of the accordion, and that the level is higher. And of course, then other aspects are playing also a role to success. So thankfully, the
Mm-hmm.
young players are even more involved now with researching the repertoire and finding the repertoire for themselves. So this is the point where we noticed that in our competition in Pula. And I was the ones to suggest that we should open up the format in order to give them the possibility to express themselves also through the choice of program, and not to make them in a certain pattern,
Mm-hmm.
to
Play with the
play,
same
because
repertoire between themselves. Yeah.
anyway they are playing the standard repertoire pieces. We
Yep.
still, even in the open format, we didn't lose Bedouin, uh, Lindbergh, or Katzer, and all the important composers. Um, and in the same time, we didn't lose even Zolotario or Kusiako. So they are still present there. And because they are not just part of the standard repertoire, and they are major pieces of the accordion repertoire, and they are always going to be played, are they on the list or not?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that you said that I think is very important, and with this we can kind of go towards the end of our conversation, is don't try to please the audiences or the jury members, because what's important is, as you said, I don't remember who said this. It was a quote that if you run after the audience, you might never catch it, but if you do what you love and what you believe in, the audience will find you.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have to be, maybe a message is always, of course you can think about, and you should kind of in a way think, uh, where do you play, for which occasion, what is the occasion, and what could be the repertoire that is suitable to that occasion, to that audience, and so on. So let's say when we imagine the extreme situation, you cannot play on a funeral very cheerful tune. You will not be very appreciated. It's not suitable. And in the same
Yeah.
time, if you are coming to a celebration of something, a big festive event, and to play something really dark and dramatic, and it's not going to be suitable to that event, and probably will make some contra effect. So in that way, of course, we have to think about the venue where we are performing, and what kind of context, in which kind of context do we appear there, and so on. So of course it's to be considered and to be chosen the repertoire very wisely and carefully. But it's important to be truthful to yourself. This is important to um, to kind of follow your interests, and to read through the research and listening music, listening other musicians, to expand your interests, and based on your interest and your sensibility, then try to develop your musical personality, and develop as an artist. And this is truth. So if you I think being truthful to yourself, so if you um, really like something what you do, if you are honest to yourself and do and say whatever musical style that is, or what kind of aesthetic or tradition and so on, if you can really honestly connect to that music, probably there are some other people in the world who I mean, it's a truthful feeling, and then you can trust on that probably some other people could reconnect connect to that to that content as well. So there is your public. They just have
Mm-hmm.
to discover you. You have to help them with your presence on the scene. Uh, Events,
True.
competitions, festivals, and so on. Self-management, of course. Try to the internet era offers some opportunities for that, and I advise everyone to try to use them as well. But being truthful to yourself, you have the best chance that the public will connect to your content.
Just a funny anecdote that happened to me when I was in Munich, a student in the class of Krasimir Sterev. So basically, at one class concert, we were playing different pieces, and there I had to play Rebecca Saunders's "Of Water is Making Moan," which was her first solo piece for accordion. It's quite long; it's 20 minutes. It's quite intense music,
Mhm.
and during the performance, I kept on seeing people just standing and walking out of the hall. At least 10 or 15 people went out of the hall, and some of the younger bachelor degree students were like, their mouths open, like, really? What? Like, that's for them it was kind of disrespectful. At least wait for the end of the piece and then
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
No, but it was kind of like telling me, we didn't come here for this music. Okay, fine. For me, it's whatever. But like after the concert, for people came up to me that were in the hall and they said, that's one of the most amazing things that we've heard up until now. So again, if I were trying to impress and make the audiences like me, of course I would choose something that I love to do. But at the same time, if I only focus on that, I would, yes, hold the hall there, like all the audience members. But maybe I wouldn't even, change anybody's day or view, or it wouldn't have an impact, as you are saying. So yeah, absolutely. And Igor, where can people find more information about you, and also about the, of course, the Accordionist? Nowhere to find the information about Pula, but just a quick recap of the things.
Yeah. Well, I have my social network channels, and I invite everyone to connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. They are both accounts are with my full name, so it's not some alias. Uh, so it's easy to find there. I'm not particularly active in posting. I should change that, and it is in plan for the future period to get a bit more active on the area of self-management. But yeah, well, as you said before, I'm living in Hanover, Germany. So after my 5 years teaching in the Pula Academy, um, I decided to come back to Germany and continue my way here. I was missing, of course, all the benefits of this society, and I also during the studies already I made some really great friends with whom I was collaborating, and I'm still collaborating now. I could reconnect to the musical scene and call it musicians here. So I'm based in Hanover. Whoever is here around can meet me and find me here. At the moment, I'm playing in one very big project of the Stadttheater here in Hanover. The play is called Das Kunstseidene Mädchen. It's a theater play based on a roman from a novel from Irmgard Coin. It's a very interesting novel about a young 18-year-old girl coming from a lower social economical level, and in the play is happening in the 1930s, 32, the period between two wars, and of course economical crisis is all around. But
Mm-hmm.
she's trying to do something from her life to become a star. She's trying to become an actress. Comes to Berlin and I mean confronts different challenges of of the society, breaking some norms. There is some early things about women emancipations in that period,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. It's very interesting play, and musically, it is beautiful music written for the play from Friederike Bernhard. It was really a great pleasure to work with her and with my two other musician colleagues. Austrian Italian saxophone player who is also multi-instrumentalist, so he's playing bass clarinet, saxophone, alt saxophone, and flute in the play, and contratenor singer Tobias Hetchler. So it is in the program this season in Hanover. So if you are passing by Hanover, das Kunstseidene Mädchen in the State Theater in Hanover, it would be a pleasure to see some of the accordionists there. And yeah, this is one of the major projects, of course. Collaborating with other musicians and
Mm-hmm.
playing chamber music concerts. But yeah, I will try to post my events on my social network channels, and in order to invite all the interested
Mm-hmm.
people to, if they are around, to come to these events.
Absolutely. Well, Igor, thanks a lot for this very interesting and very inspiring conversation. I wish you all the best. Good luck with the organization of the next edition. And hopefully, I'll see you soon, maybe even next summer.
Thank you very much. Maybe it's an interesting information for everyone if to make an announcement for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the next year's competition in Pula from the 6th to 9th of May 2025. Um, and the summer course, um, let me check not to make a mistake. Um And then we invite also everyone interested for our traditional summer course, summer master classes, which this next year is going to be held from the 14th to the 19th of July. So
Mm-hmm.
we have in the that they can discover more details about it on the web page that soon is going to be updated, and we are going to post it, of course, the announcement of the competition and the summer school also in our social network channels of OKUD Istra, and the competition has its own channel and so on. We will try to soon update everything. There is a web page of OKUD Istra where they can also find the information about both events. And maybe in the end, the information for all the people who still don't know about the summer course in Pula. There is a masterclass of accordion planned with 3 teachers mostly, and for next year as well. At least for now, we will see how the things we will develop. If we get too much inscriptions, maybe we will have to expand even the teachers. But basically, we always every year we change the teachers, and we always have important, relevant, and experienced international names, and also some younger members of the some younger players and teachers who we think that are very interesting to follow and to learn from. And then we have a conducting masterclass, conducting course, and accordion orchestra workshop where we can get all together again. So check up the things, and we have very affordable prices. I think you have been last year there, and so I think we always have quite a nice atmosphere, but maybe it's better that you give your impressions about it. And for the conducting course we had for the last couple of years, and next year it will be also Miran Valpotic in charge, accordionist and conductor. Um, so check up what is there, and it's again a very nice event where you can connect with other accordionists from Croatia and internationally, and in the same time enjoy beautiful Croatian summer and and Pula
Mm-hmm.
and sea and so on.
Yeah, I can only strongly recommend to all the young accordionists to check out the Summer Academy. Definitely, I believe it's a very relaxed, but it's also very serious. Like 5 days, very intense, but at the same time you learn a lot. Also, just by listening and talking with other colleagues and musicians. So I will link all of this in the description of the episode. And listeners, if you have questions or if you just like to say hi or connect with Igor, follow him on Instagram or reach out to him on Facebook. And as you can hear, he's a very open person. He's a very helping person, and also looking forward to supporting you guys and whoever needs it in the best way that he can. Thanks again, Igor, for this conversation.
Thank you, Gennady, for inviting me, and I wish all the best to you. And as a musician with all your activities, and of course to your podcast, it is also a great thing. And thank you for doing that. I think this makes also a great impact to the development of our accordion society, accordion scene. It gives insights in different to all of us, not only young accordionists, but to all of us in different aspects and different personalities, which are part of our accordion scene. And thank you very much for your work, and I wish all the best for the
Thank,
for the future.
thank you, likewise. Thank you for listening to this episode. Reach out with comments, suggestions, listen to the other episodes if you haven't done so yet. Feel free to reach out to me on social media, send in an email. You can also send in a voice message if you'd like. The link is in the description of the episode, right at the bottom. If you'd like to support the podcast, if it brings value to you, if you find it helpful and useful and entertaining, or whatever the reason, there's also the option to support the podcast with a small donation. Thank you again for listening, and see you in the next episode.